Dr. Kavita, and welcome to the Unlearning podcast. This is a show that I've created to talk about a variety of mental health topics, to see what we may need to unlearn and how we got there. And hopefully this will give insights, increase awareness into how we can rewire and think in more healthier ways and emotionally too. So I have with me a very special guest, Ashlyn Schultz, who has been in our family. I'll tell you what I mean by that. For years now. She watches our kids when my husband and I are working, and we've had so many cool convos over the years, and that's why I was like, oh, you should come on. Let's talk. Let's actually record this. So, Ashlyn, thanks so much for agreeing to come on and talk with me.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here.
Thanks. Yeah. So, among all the things, the cool things we've talked about, I always found that it was interesting to hear about your perspectives with how you grew up as a Gen Zer compared to me as a millennial. So, yeah, I feel like there's so much we could dive into as far as like the generational differences, things that we both learned from growing up in the times that we did, and stuff that maybe we could unlearn from there. Yeah. So there's so many things. I know from what we talked about before, there's, like we were just talking about like parenting on the way over here. I think it seems like there's more common ground than I thought, like, than not with maybe the guilt that's there, or like perfectionism, and like, you know, the way we're thinking about raising kids. Yeah.
I mean, I'm their nanny. So I've met like a lot of parents, and we were just talking about in the car, I think like the parent guilt is like over, all parents have it. And like even I have it, like taking care of the kids. Like her older goes to preschool, and her youngest stays home with me. And like the days that we're running lots of errands and everything, I'm like, oh, I didn't play with her enough today. And like, I'm not even her parent. Like this is not even on me really, but like that's just like an overarching thing I think every single parent has with it. And it just comes from like a place of like you love them and just like want them to be having the best time 24/7, but like it also is a benefit for them to see this is how we go grocery shopping. Sometimes we're going to give away these clothes so that other kids can have them. We're going to, you know, I don't know. It's good that mommy goes to work because she's supporting our family and making money, and money is important. That's how we go to get food. Like it all circles back around, and these are good things for them to learn. So I don't know. I think the guilt is like inevitable, but there shouldn't be that much, because like every single thing that if they're with you, they're learning something, you know. They're learning something about being an adult. They're learning something about like managing an issue, managing like a problem that you might run into while you're out.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. So that's interesting because I'm trying to think with Gen Z, when Gen Z starts, I think after 1996, I think.
So.
Yeah. So that would mean, there are definitely some parents out there that are Gen Zers, and definitely plenty of millennial parents. And guilt, especially mom guilt, is such a big thing, I feel like, especially for millennials, to kind of rethink about and unlearn for sure, because it's like you said, there are things they are learning when, like, you know, if mommy's going to work, it's something that's, you know, like I know for me, like fulfilling, and also, you know, providing for the family. So it's good to teach them that, hey, mommy is like, that's part of who I am as mom. That's one of my roles. And also there are other parts to who mommy is, like my, you know, identity. I think that's important for being a good parent.
Yeah. And I think like obviously it depends on the job, but for you it can be like, I have to go to work because I get to help these other kids who need help. And you guys, you don't necessarily need help. Not in that way. You need help with plenty of things, but like this is like somebody is more in need, and this is like we're giving them our time, because this is like an ability that mommy has that not everyone can do. Not everyone can treat a kid like that, and like we get to help others with our jobs sometimes, and maybe that's a job that you'll want in the future. Also, like from a feminist point of view, mommy's a doctor.
Yeah.
So like your daughter gets to see that and see that like, yeah, women can be whatever they want to be, which is like, that's been pushed for a while now. Like not many people are telling girls that they can't be whatever they want anymore, but at least not in this country. Like that's, I think that's like something that was really well pushed onto my generation too. There was like a couple of side comments about like, well, you should be a nurse and not a doctor. But for the most part, like I've gotten like more support and just like, wow, good for you. Than like, I mean, like my grandma said, be a nurse, not a doctor. That's about it. Like, it's like, I think that kind of narrative is kind of aging out. Like we're not so much pushing women to be teachers or nurses, but yeah, so it's good that your kids are seeing like, this is a woman that does this really important job and a big job, and yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I love that my kids see that, and especially my daughter and my son too. For him to learn as a boy who will be a grown man one day that hey, women, can do all of these other kinds of jobs. Like they're not even going to know about what like a comment like from the one that your grandma had
they're
made.
not even like that is beautiful to me. They're not even going to like have that thought in their mind. Right. You know what? We were playing doctor with the doctor set, and. Do you use their names on the podcast?
It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Amaya had the doctor set first. Amaya's younger. And Aryan is older. He's a boy. He was like, okay, Amaya, you be the doctor. I'll be the nurse. And I was like, yes! Yes! Evidence! Yes! Oh, we're doing something good.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, you don't know what that means to me, Aryan.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My eyes are watering.
It's okay. But that's so beautiful.
Like, yes, that's
so
amazing.
Beautiful.
That's like something that you, like, that's not even a thought in his mind that the man would be a doctor.
Right.
He's like, oh, this job's available. I can do it. Like,
right.
She's already the doctor. Okay, I'll be the nurse. Like,
right.
It's not like, And like, also like in the, I think you did an episode with Sheila about like healthcare and everything. Like,
oh, we will.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sheila's my husband.
Yeah. So it's also like the hierarchy. Like they're not seeing like a hierarchy of like doctor is better than nurse. They're like these are two important jobs and they do different things, which is how it is. Like that's doctor and nurse are completely different jobs and nobody's better than anyone else. Like
and it's not gender specified.
I was like, that is so beautiful that he just said that.
I love that. Yes, this is exactly what I want to be instilling in them. And I see that with a lot of kids that I see that, they don't see gender in the same way or even race, especially when they're younger. It's like they're like such a clean slate still and pure.
Yeah, and like, the kids love to see my nails.
That's
like
right.
Sometimes I'll have fun designs on them, but they like I remember like when they first started noticing them, I had yellow on my nails, and that was Aryan's favorite color at the time. It kind of isn't anymore.
I know, that's true.
But he was like, oh, I want yellow on my nails, and I was like, that's like something to figure out when you're a little bit older, because I mean that is true. Like you're not going to sit still for these to dry.
The practicality of it. Yeah.
And also, like,
as far as the drying.
I hate that there's, like, a stigma of, like, boys painting their nails, but there is. And that's, like, that's a parent decision, first of all. Not the nanny's decision. But what I didn't want to do was say, well, that's just a girl thing to do. Because I think that, like, makes it seem like, oh, that's a stupid thing. That's a silly thing that girls do, and it doesn't mean anything. Like that, I'm not gonna like brush it away and be like, yeah, that's stupid. You don't need to do it because you're a boy. I'm like, well, that's a decision you can ask mommy about later when you're bigger.
Right.
And I love that the way he sees it is not just like, oh, your nails are girly. He sees that's my favorite color on your fingers, and you have it on your fingers,
and I like it
right in front of you all day long. I want my favorite colors on my fingers,
where I can see it all day long.
Yeah, and I can look at it all day long.
That's right.
And that's like such a pure point of view. I love. That's like one of the reasons I love working with kids. Like it's so like I don't know, easy. Like
and there's so much joy. That's why I love working with kids too, and having them too, and being a mom, because they have these unique perspectives and pure perspectives of the world, and it's so simple and beautiful at the same time. And I think along the way somehow that gets lost, and that would be
because of like social stigmas and like comments from other people, but like
exactly
that's what painting your nails is. I love pink.
Yes,
So now it's on my fingers and I get to look at it all the time and it makes me happy.
Right.
And that's what it should be for everyone, but there's like this social stigma that if you let your 4-year-old paint his nails, like you might get comments and like, people might have a problem with it, especially like the area that we're in is, but
Yeah, I think there's a generational difference there to a degree because growing up, oh my goodness, as a millennial, it was definitely like gender specified that girls paint their nails and boys don't. Oh no, that's a girly
like in
thing.
the 90s, this would have never been a conversation.
Yeah, as a kid who grew up in the 90s, definitely. And even in Sheil, you know, whose dad, he definitely really, he has that pretty ingrained in his mind too. And we've had conversations about it. At the end of the day, though, I feel like that's just one of the many ways we can express ourselves. And, you know, regardless of how you identify gender-wise, if that's, you know, what feels aligned for you and makes you happy, then, you know, why judge that? Yeah. I think there's a lot of unlearning there, but I know it can be hard when it's something you grew up, you know, being told, this is girly, this is not. That could go for so many things, like even with how, you know, like dresses and what you're wearing and makeup, you know, these are all man-made constructs. Human constructs. It's like who made up the rules, you know, that only girls like wear nail polish or makeup or dress this way. It's that's definitely though a lot of what I grew up with as a millennial for sure, and definitely it seems more lax.
Well, I will say, like, even if I was a parent right now and to a kid Arian's age that was asking me to paint his nails, I probably still wouldn't do it. Just because as a parent, you don't want your kid to be looked at by an older generation and, like, judged. Like, I wouldn't want my kid to be judged. So that, for me, would be, like, we'll decide that when you're a little bit older and you can understand, like, the social things around painting your nails as a boy for your own protection. Like, so that you can understand why these people think this way, that it's not right, but they do still think that way. And just because I wouldn't want, like, an older person coming up to my 4-year-old and being like, you shouldn't do that. Like, that wouldn't...
Yeah, I
for,
get
like,
the
a safety
perspective.
perspective. Like, that's... It's a shame that is, like, maybe in 20 years, maybe by the time I have kids, that won't be a thing, and it won't matter what my 4-year-old puts on his fingers. But right now, like... I just, from a protective point of view, I wouldn't do it just because I wouldn't want those people that would make those comments to be drawn to make those comments to my own kids.
Yeah.
Like, I would just want them to mind their own business. And, I mean, best case scenario, he could paint his nails and nobody would comment, but, like, that might not happen.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
like,
there's still that likelihood. Yeah, I think as a parent, I do worry about that. And at the ages they're at now, you know, like four now, like, you know, around this age, it's, I think they'll take it to heart and get really, well, speaking for Arian, like, you know, knowing
Arian,
him.
He's getting to the age where he's like, he notices when somebody's facial expression is like unhappy or if somebody, I don't know. Even, like, when I'm, like, one time I was, like, trying to untie something and I was, like, frowning. He's like, what's wrong? Why are you mad?
Aww.
I'm like, or are you sad? Or something like that.
Yeah, he
and
does
I was
that.
like, like, he definitely, like,
he
is gauging. If somebody was saying something unkind to him, he would know it.
Right.
Like,
so absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's, like, where I would stand if I had my own kids right now. But, it sucks that it's like that, but that's just... how it is for now, I think. Yeah,
there are those judgments and comments. There's still those norms in mind of you know, how it's supposed to be. So I know it is sad, but I think we're definitely moving. It looks like we're moving away from that, and that's being faded out.
I think, like, the best solution to all of that kind of issue is just time. Like, my generation getting older, and then the next generation, like, getting older, and I don't know, I guess some of them can vote now and everything, like Gen Alpha.
Oh, already?
Right? I'm pretty sure my younger cousin is Gen Alpha, and he's like 17 or 18.
I think that I thought Gen
I'm not
Alpha was
positive.
2015
Oh, maybe.
onward. No. Okay, we have to fact check that.
Okay. We don't know.
Yeah, we can look it up.
But yeah, like I think the more time that goes by, the better off we'll be with that kind of thing, like the social stigma of that kind of stuff, like the silly stuff like that, like stuff that is at the end of the day so meaningless and like it doesn't matter, like how you dress or how you do your nails or your hair or whatever. I think the only thing to solve that is like time and like having conversations with your kids about it and like making sure that they know like anyone can do this, like so that we can continue that like understanding throughout generations and not work backwards into the gender stereotyping. But yeah, hopefully time will tell.
Time will tell for sure. And I think it is showing over time, like just in these last decades, as far as how there's this openness. I was just trying to think of, how did that, kind of like change over like, these last years where there's more open. I think it's because people are just, there's definitely a bravery of, hey, no, I like this. This is who I am. And this is how I want to express myself. So there's that. And I wonder, like, the judgments that are still there with the, like, stigmatization of it, like, what's, like, really behind that? Is it because it's something different? And I've mentioned this before on the show, like, what seems different from what you're used to can feel strange and unfamiliar, and that makes people feel uncomfortable. Like, what are really the feelings underneath there that's driving those kind of comments of, oh, girls wear nail polish, not boys, and like comments like that.
I think personally, like, all of my political views come from a point of like, why do I care? Like, why do I care what you're doing to your body, who you're marrying, like, what you want to do? If you're not hurting yourself or hurting others, then what do I care? That's like where I stand on like everything. Like, if you are happy, then great. I think everyone being happier like makes for a better society. There's reasons that other countries have a higher happiness index, like in countries that have subsidized college education, people are able to go to school for what they want to do, and they end up happier. So there's a happier index. There's a lower crime rate. There's lower rates of mental illness in other countries, and that's like, when people are able to do what they want and what feels authentic to them, that's like everyone is better off and everyone is happier.
Right. Seems so logical and straightforward.
Seems so easy.
And straightforward. I know. I say that in my practice all the time when I'm asking about gender identity and sexual orientation and even just interests. Like, as long as you're doing what feels right to you and it's, gives you joy and it's aligned with your true self, that's what matters. And then, unfortunately, there can be what comes with that if there are those who don't understand, and with the past generations, like the norms that are still there, gender stereotypes, etc., it can lead to feeling ostracized and judged, and the fear of that is, it's awful.
Yeah, I think, it comes from like fear of the unfamiliar, and also maybe without them even realizing it, like a form of like jealousy of like, I could never be that expressed in my life when I was a teenager. Not saying like every 80-year-old man you meet is actually gay, but like I'm saying like they when you look back at like your grandparents' high school yearbook, every man is wearing a suit and every woman is wearing a dress and has their hair the same way, and like that's just the way it was. Everyone had to be the same, it feels like, it seems. And I think like the older generations, there's like a tiny bit of jealousy that like they didn't have this freedom to just wear whatever. Girls couldn't even wear pants for so long.
Right.
Like, this is like crazy to them. Like when we're wearing like a bra as a shirt. Like, of course, like all the things that they're seeing now are like crazy, and I understand it. But I think that unfamiliarity is also combined with like, I wish I was able to be that free when I was young. And
that's such a good point. I think there is that.
Yeah.
There is that, the jealousy or envy of I didn't get to do what I want and express myself fully, and there may have been really suppressed, repressed desires that got shut down so early on, and so there's even some anger there. Like, no, I couldn't get that. So
because I had it hard, you also have to have it hard. I walked uphill both ways to school, so you have to walk uphill both ways to school in the snow, that kind of thing. Like,
oh, that's right. Oh, how often is that said? I heard that a lot. You heard that too? I had to walk in the snow, and
it was uphill both ways.
Well, actually, wait. My parents are from India. They didn't walk in snow, but like walking a long ways to school, kind of thing. Yeah.
Which is like, I know that's like a silly saying, but it's like in reality, it's like just because you had it hard doesn't mean the next people have to have it hard. Like, just because you had 3 jobs to support your family does not mean that your kids should have to have 3 jobs. I would never want that for my kids. But, like, some parents really do think like that. Like, work harder, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
That's right.
Like, but
yeah, that seems to be something that still kind of passed down, it sounds like.
Yeah. I feel like that's, like, the hustle culture that we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a personality trait more than like a generational thing. Like some people are just like that. I'm not. Like, I love to relax, actually.
That's so great.
Yeah.
To hear.
Yeah. I do have like a hard time. Like, I'll find myself like, okay, I need to do the dishes, actually, and I need to do the laundry, and like I find myself making myself a to-do list. But like, I don't understand the hustle culture thing. I think like that is just like who you are as a person, maybe. And that's fine if that's like who you are and you're happy with that. You're like achieving your goals and working all the time and you're happy in that life. I think the problem with hustle culture is like pushing it on other people and making it seem like you have to be this way in order to be taken seriously, to be successful, to make any money. Like, but that's not the truth. Like, you don't need to kill yourself over a job ever.
To push
it's
yourself
never worth
hard.
it for like a shareholder to make more money. That's usually what it's about. Like, I mean, all jobs are different. You're not making a shareholder money at your job, but like, that's at the end of the day, you're making the person above you more money. That should never like cost you your mental health or your physical health or like even like having a social life or getting enough sleep. Like,
so we were going over before recording that like the different topics like the hustle culture, and I will say, as a millennial growing up, and especially in medicine, hustle culture is huge. It's like, you know, to the point where if you are resting, it's like, what are you doing? You know, you're not being productive. And I think there's definitely a cultural contribution here too, like in Indian culture, I will say. Growing up, and I heard this from a lot of friends and Sheil too, that you know, if you got like a 98 on a test, it was always like, where did the other 2 points go? It was always that kind of perspective.
That's the standard that I held myself at. There was nobody in my life telling me that.
Interesting.
But that was like in my mind. That's like how I've always been in school.
Interesting.
So that's like a personality trait, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely the personality trait, like, you know, for some to have that.
Like, that's really interesting. Like, I've never heard like somebody's parents say that though.
Oh yeah, all the time growing up. Or if like, you know, if I had like a 90, it's like I would have a sit down, like what happened here?
That's crazy.
I know a lot of other Indian kids or Desi kids, or it's an Asian thing too. And I'm sure there's cross-cultural examples, but like I can speak for those experiences of that's like how strict it was, and I think it also gets reinforced, you know, when you do well, then you get praise and you get that dopamine
You're
hit.
like, oh, I made them so happy. They're so happy for me. Like,
So then,
because kids ultimately like want to please their parents. Like, that's like a huge thing for us. Like, the younger you are, the more you want to please your parents. And even in high school age, you still want them to like be proud of you and like congratulate you and like, because you work really hard. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's how this led to this setup of you know, there's the pluses and minuses to it, because I think a lot of individuals end up, you know, being very ambitious and driven and successful with, and I know that's what parents like want at the end of the day, they want their kids to be set up well for life and successful, so they don't have to worry and they think, okay, my job is done, kind of thing. But then it comes at the cost of mental health and wellness and burnout and feeling anxious all the time, and then even depression, and then it gets tied into our identity and self-esteem. And to think that like the praise is conditional, and especially when it starts so young, it could then lead to
that
these
means
things.
like the love is conditional. That's
Right.
what it feels like.
Yeah, it can feel like that when so if that's something, I hope a lot of people can identify. There's a lot of unlearning there and rewiring our brain to think that, our worth is not tied to our productivity, our self-worth, like we're worthy to begin with, and relaxing is a good thing. I love that you say, I love to relax. That's good. Just sit down. Yeah, that's great. I love that.
I think, the productivity thing. I don't know. Yeah, tying it to self-worth. I did do that for a very long time, like in school. Also, like talking about like the parents and kids situation. When you are in school as a kid and you don't have a job outside of that, school is your whole job. So it's very easy to relate that to your self-worth, because that's all you do all day is be in school. Like that kind of is your identity, and it's hard to not connect that to your self-worth when this is what I do all day long. I should be good at this, right? Like, so when you're not so good at something, I don't know. But yeah, I really, really think it's partially a personality trait though, because I just had a conversation with my mom about this a few weeks ago, but she was like, I raised you and Bryce the exact same way. Me and Bryce are so different. I graduated high school with a perfect GPA. I got into every school I applied to besides one Ivy League. Like, I got really good scholarships. My brother was in summer school every single year, all of his school years. Like, we were so far opposites. Like, you could not get him to care about school. And he's great now. He has a great job. He lives with his girlfriend in Philly. He's happy. And he's one of those people that does not tie his identity to his job. Like, his job truly is just a paycheck, and then he has hobbies outside of it, which I kind of wish I could be like. I wish that I had, like, I was passionate about something that was a little easier, maybe. Or I didn't feel that I had a life purpose, because I think then life would be easier to not be, like, constantly getting towards one goal. And that goal being a job. So he has, like, other goals that are, like, outside of work. I'm like, our brains are so different, but we were raised in the same house by the same people.
Right. So
like, we're only 14 months apart. Like, we were raised so similarly and so closely. Like, it's just our personalities. Like,
so that's funny you bring that up, because that reminds me of Dr. Gabor Mate's work. He's a neurodevelopmental physician, but that specializes in development. And he said, when you have siblings growing up together, it may seem like they're being raised the same and their childhood, like, was the same. There are these differences too, if you look deeper. And first of all, there's the genetics. And then also I wonder, because Bryce, with gender socializing, like
is that Y chromosome?
The genetics there. But you're right. And
like the gender stereotypes, like the way we're raised, the toys we're given. We've talked about this a lot of times.
So I even notice it now with Arn and my son and daughter. Like, my dad brought toys. Like, he just came back from a trip, and he brought my daughter dolls. And he brought my son cars.
It's race cars, and Maya gets Barbies.
And she wants to play with that race car so badly.
We're gonna have to go to the store and get her, like, a cute little race car.
Yeah, exactly. With whatever colors. But and even now it's like, that's still in the mindset of previous generations. There's still that exposure. Like kids now growing up that, they're getting exposed to. So I wonder, there's that also with like how you and your brother were raised, like the conditioning there, the differences there, expectations of you and versus what was expected of him. And then even birth order really matters too. And then even though you guys were close in age, that could be a factor too. So, So we were talking earlier about like the financial stress exposure side of things. Like, that's another huge thing I feel. I love Ramit Sethi, who is, I don't know if he has described himself this way, as like this finance guru who's wrote a few books of I Will Teach You to Be Rich and Money for Couples. And I love how he really goes into the psychology of how we think about money. And he, in episodes where he is interviewing couples, he always goes back to how they grew up and how money was talked about in the home.
That's totally like the biggest thing with how you see money is like how your parents described it to you, I think.
And even when I'm seeing kids in my practice, if I sense there is financial strain, it could even be from the way, like I'll first learn about it when the kids I'm interviewing, they're bringing it up with like comments of, we don't go here, we don't we can't eat fast food, or we don't really go out to like the store yet, like or things like that. They'll bring up, and how is that not going to, I think that's where they start too, like for your beliefs or mindset about anything, but even money too. I love that he goes back and digs into that.
Yeah, there's like so much psychology around finances, and like, I think the way you're raised and like the financial situation that you're raised in is kind of how you're gonna feel for like a while, like through your adulthood. Like, I was super nervous to like live completely alone. Like financially, I was really nervous, and I had like 3 jobs for no reason. Like, I would have been fine with just one, but like I had 3 for like, I think it was just for like a summer or like 6 months maybe. But I was like overdoing it so much because, I don't know, that's just like the past. In my brain, I was like, well, you have to have enough money to pay rent. Like, I'm the only one responsible for this. I need to like step up and like work harder. Right. But I think parents should just be pretty quiet about finances around their kids.
That's huge.
Unless it's like, there's things that are good to teach. Like, we teach Ari and like, well, we're not going to buy a car. You need to trade money for a car. Did you bring money? It's sometimes that I have to ask him in the grocery store. Like, well, did you bring money? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, me either.
To learn, like, hey, to get
like,
these
this
things
is how we get toys. We have to trade money. And that's why mommy goes to work and daddy goes to work, because then they go to work, then they get money, and that's how we buy toys and food. And that's a good, like, overall, like, boundary to draw around money. When you're bringing up, like, your dance classes cost so much, or the mortgage is due. What the heck do the kids know about a mortgage? Like, what about this dance class you told them that they could do, and now you're guilting them for it? Like, they're feeling guilty for, like, using money for the dance class that you, the adult, signed them up for. So it's,
definitely, like, those kind of comments, I think, are very good to, like, as a parent, and I know, especially in, like, the last years with inflation and where we have been economically, it's been a lot tighter, and I feel for that. And at the same time, those boundaries with how we talk about money with our kids is so important, because I think with comments like, where you're guilting, or like, bringing up how, we can't afford this, or that's too much, or why do you, or even if you bring it up in that way, like, why do you want that? Like, there's that stress, and that's where, like, those kind of comments are coming from, like, it is such a stressful situation if money is tight. But then there's that cost of you're implanting unintentionally, likely, in your kids' brains that, to feel anxious about money and then the future, and you don't want them to have that. I think also, if, for whoever's watching and listening, even for us, does that bring up any aha moments of, oh my goodness, my parents totally talked about money in that way, or brought up, like, they could just not even say anything, but feel stressed. Like they could feel that energy from them, the anxiety, the stress about paying the bills, maybe even seeing like how they were with stressing over, you know, with you know, paying the bills every month. And I think that, yeah, you know, if that was there when you were growing up, you know, is that something that's serving you now? If, like, you know, as a grown-up, are you feeling like, ooh, I just don't want to be in that situation that my parents were in, or how, you know, that situation when I was a kid and seeing my parents like that fear. But then anxiety can really blow things out of proportion, where if you're not in that same situation, but the little you is kind of stuck back there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it always is coming from, like, parents who do make those comments, it's always coming from, like, their stress and their anxiety. It's just that they're using the wrong outlet. Like, your 6-year-old isn't the person to talk to about that, and, you know, get a good therapist. Like, talk to your partner, like the other adult that's managing this money with you, or talk to a friend or your mom or whoever, you know, like a fellow adult that can understand what you're going through. Because all a child can absorb from that is the stress. They can't absorb any of, like, the nuance around interest or mortgages or, like, any of that. They can't understand anything besides the fact that this is super stressful. And so I'm going to be stressed too. Like, that's all they can really grasp from that, from saying something like that to them.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So it's just unproductive. But I totally understand. Money is, like, the most, like, suffocating, like, problem to have, I think. Like,
it can be. Yeah. It can come about with that kind of feeling of stress, because
it's like one of the most stressful stressors that we have in life, I feel like, because finances, like,
it's up there for sure.
Because, I mean, everybody needs it. Everybody needs a place to live. Everyone needs to eat food, and things get more expensive. And
that's right.
But I think it's just best to keep the kids way out of it.
Yeah, like you said, having boundaries, and the stress is understandable. It's just sharing it with the right people and trying to be mindful of not exposing your kids to that, because it's like you said, what are they going to take away from it? They're going to take away the feelings of, like, you know, the anxiety and stress that the parent is feeling, and developmentally, where their brain is at, they're not going to be able to understand it the same way as an adult. So, you know, definitely find another adult to, you know, be able to vent to, or a therapist to, you know, let that out with. I have empathy and compassion for the stress, like the know, the underlying drivers and reasons for it, the stress and the anxiety that's there, and the difficulty of the situation.
And, like, as a parent, you want to be able to explain things away to your kids. Like, they're asking to go to the trampoline park and we don't have money for it. Like, I want to give you the answer about why we're not going there. I understand that.
Right.
I mean, in that situation, maybe you just need to come up with a lie. Say we're too busy.
Funny.
Like,
depending on how old they are, right?
If, like, Amaya was, like, if I had, like, a kid Amaya's age, like, there's not really a conversation to have about that.
Not
you know,
right.
It's like, we just can't
yet.
go right now. So that's how it is sometimes. But then there's other things that are, like, you have to involve them in, and it's tough. Like, I worked with kids that went to private school and then had to leave private school to go to public. And that's, like, a really big thing. They're 9 and 10. So, like, they already have their friends. They already, you know, like, they're comfortable where they were. But it was because it was just too expensive for their mom. Their mom was a single mom. And, like, it was probably a really tough conversation to have, but one that was definitely necessary, because it's not like you could just take them to a different school with no questions.
Right, yeah.
But you do have to have that conversation about, you know, I don't know how she did it, but maybe it was like, you know, we're going to save this money so that you can go to a good college, because paying for private school when you're this young is maybe not our best decision right now, something like that. But that's, like, a really tough conversation to be had. So there are some conversations that you do have to have with the kids.
Yes, definitely.
And hopefully they come when they're a little bit older so that there's, like, more understanding from them. But
I would say also I like to go with like, the child, to an extent, can guide how the conversations will go, because if they're asking the questions of, oh, why are we going to public school when we've been in private school, or, oh, how come I'm not going to that dance class anymore, or we're not doing this anymore, if they're having the curiosity about it, then we do want to give them honest answers that would be developmentally appropriate, you know, depending on their age. So even for that private public school example, saying, you know, right now with where we're at, like money-wise, this is the best decision for our family, and to also reassure them that, you know, we're okay, like if you know, things are okay, like we're okay, we're stable, we're safe, we're secure.
You're still going to be safe and happy at this new school. You'll make new friends.
Right, and to say that, like, you know, if they're worried about what's going on overall, to give them that reassurance, I think is also huge. And then even validating the feelings behind it, like, you know, if they're wanting to go and do things with their friends, like go to the trampoline park or go to an amusement park, like, I think that's also so huge to validate the feelings behind it. I will say, and I wonder how this was for you growing up, but it would be more like, you can't do it at the end. Like, you know, I love how now, like, more in the last decades, there's more of like, I see where, like, you know, the emotional and mental, like, acknowledging that, hey, as a kid, you know, your thoughts and feelings do matter. I see you, I hear you, I acknowledge you, I validate you. Is huge.
Yeah, totally. There's like, I was definitely raised that way too, like, just because I said so. That's why.
Right.
And now I work with kids, and it's like, I'll explain away everything. I'll explain as much as you want me to. Like those older kids that I was just talking about, we were like walking in the road, and it was like a piece of coal or something. And we're like, well, where does that come from? Girl, I'll teach you about the carbon cycle. I taught all about the carbon cycle. I'm like, I'm not just going to say because it's there, or like just like give like a half answer. Like, we can talk about this and you'll learn something. Or like, I mean, sometimes when Amaya has given me her 18th why, I'll just say because. But like in the beginning, I'll always explain it to her. I'm like, well, we got to go take a nap. She's like, why? I'm like, well, we have to get rest so that we can play later. Why? Like, and I try to explain like as much as I can, because I remember being so annoyed at the because I said so answer. And I remember, I think we've talked about this before, like when I first started, it would be so frustrating to be a toddler and to be like, okay, get in the car, we're going to the grocery store, get in the car, we're going there. We have to do this now. You never have any decisions ever. And it's, so I like to like explain things away. We've got the time. What else are we going to do? Like, we can talk. Like, obviously it takes more effort from me, but like, I like talking to you. Like,
that's so sweet. And I think also there may be, depending on where the parent is at, I can understand if they don't have the mental bandwidth or emotional
That's why
bandwidth.
I said after the 18th why I am just saying because.
For
sure. It gets to a point. Definitely.
I think it's important to, you know, be mindful of it. Like, we all get tired, we all get frustrated as parents or caregivers, and that's normal, that's human. We're never not going to have that. We have all good and bad days, no one's perfect. And I think, though, if that gives anyone aha moments, that's what I'm going for. You know, oh, do I say that? And, you know, ooh, what is that conveying to my kid? Like, oh, because I said so, because I'm your mom, because that's how it is. And that's at the end, closing the conversation. Are we doing that, though, because we're burnt out? That'd be, you know, I can see that. Is it, though, because that was how we were raised and we're just passing down that same dialogue? Ooh, hold on, though. What is that doing? You know? So,
I do have so much sympathy for that, because I also constantly am thinking, like, this is like my whole job to explain this to her and to answer her 18th why. Like, if I worked full-time outside of here and then came home to do this for free, instead of sitting like I like to.
After it, like so how many
times? That's like a totally different thing. Like, you have gone to work all day and been out all day and done things all day. This is just my only job, is to like answer her questions pretty much and like keep them alive. Like,
yes, that's for all of us.
Like, keep them happy. Like, so it's like, I don't have that level of exhaustion that you have, or like overstimulation, because this is the only thing I have to worry about. You have like an entirely different life outside of the home. Like,
Right.
And you do this for free to answer their questions.
Yeah.
Like, somehow.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're my babies.
Yeah. And so it's like, it's just a different level of like, you feel a different exhaustion than I do. I go home and get a full night's sleep. Like, you know, like it's totally different. So like, I say that, yeah, I'll answer your questions all day. I say that from a point of view where I have nothing else to do. Like,
well, yeah, you're there to take care
That's
of
my
them.
whole job, is to answer your questions and take care of you. So I totally sympathize with like
all the other
all
life
the actual
factors.
parents that are like, because I said so, because like I totally understand it. Like
that could be a whole series. Let's
Yeah.
talk about sleep debt that parents have, and you know, when you are taking it, like, you know, when you have all these other life factors that are there, and that and juggling,
and like being postpartum and handling 1 or 2 kids, like.
Oh my goodness. A whole nother episode at minimum.
And also going to work and like leaving your baby at 6 months and like, or younger than 6 months, 6 weeks for some. Like,
oh my goodness, it's 6 weeks. I still remember my program director from residency. She said she had to go back to work after 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
After giving birth.
Yeah.
She had to go back.
That makes me mad because you can't even get a puppy before 8 weeks because it hasn't spent enough time with its mom.
Oh my goodness.
But we're sending women with human babies back to work.
Or sooner than that. That always stuck with me when she said, isn't that crazy? Yeah.
2 weeks is crazy.
Yeah, you're still bleeding and
you're
far
like,
from being healed and not sleeping.
You are like in a fog. 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
You haven't slept in 2 weeks.
I remember how delusional and out of it I felt, like delirious in those first weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So
I can't imagine. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like the hustle culture. I also
Exactly
what I was going to say earlier about like the healthcare system and that hustle culture is we don't make our best decisions when we're sleep deprived and when we're overwhelmed and everything. And I want my doctor to be making the best decisions possible.
Right.
So I don't think we should be, I mean, once you're in attending, it's much better, but like residency programs are insane. And it's like the guy who created residency programs, he called it residency because you reside in the hospital.
Oh, that's where it comes from, the name.
Yes, and it was also during a time where everyone was doing cocaine. Like when they were like treating everything with cocaine, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, like in like 40s, 50s.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I wonder who this,
so all the doctors
get
were on
his
cocaine.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read about him a long time ago. I wish I could remember his name. But yeah, the man who like created the concept of a residency called it residency because you reside in the hospital. You never go home.
You never go home.
And that's
insane.
Sleep.
Wow. Right. And
that's like such a broken system. You don't want your doctor to have 0 hours of sleep, do you?
Right. Yeah, someone that's treating
person
you,
that's like operating
taking care
on
of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
So, making decisions about medications, like doing math in their head. I want you to be on top of your game, actually.
That's talked about so much, especially in residency, and it's been so ingrained in us though that this is how it is. Yeah. You're gonna work 24-hour shifts or long hours or 80-hour work weeks. Yeah. That's how it's been, and this is training. So this is it is known to be a grueling time where you're working all sorts of hours. However, yes, I find there's that irony of we're in medicine and we know what sleep deprivation does to the brain, right? And yet this is how it's set up. Yeah,
you know that we could learn a lot better if we just had 20 less hours a week, maybe 60 instead of 80.
Right, the quality over quantity.
Yeah, exactly. And like I'm convinced that residents would maybe learn better and do better, but I'm not in charge of that.
That would be ACGME, like the accreditation. A conversation with them that I know it's brought up and talked about a lot.
It's definitely been brought up 1,000 times over, but it's a hard thing to change. And then there's also the number of residency spots hasn't gone up since the 90s. There's been the same, I think it's 30-something thousand spots a year.
Oh, I haven't seen it since I graduated. But
so it's been the same since the 90s. There haven't been any more residency spots open. So that also adds to the competitiveness of school in med school and getting a residency. That's another part of it. There's more people now and more people going to schools, but that number of spots has stayed the same. So it adds to competitiveness, and now it's you should have published work to get into med school, and you have to have literally a perfect MCAT score and a 4.0 GPA. it's getting more and more and more competitive. It's
wow.
crazy.
Yeah, I've heard of that with it being more competitive for sure.
Like when I heard, like, I watched a video about this girl that, like, was applying to med school. She's like, I have 4 published papers. I was like, how do you even get there? I was under the impression that, like, a scientist, like a research scientist, like, that's what you work toward. Like, your goal is to have published work.
But it's to stand out more when they're applying.
So, like, you're not even in school yet, and you already have this published work, something that, like, people work their whole career towards. It's like, it's just, like, on another level. It's like...
there's more pressure. To stand out and differentiate yourself.
I'm the first generation to go to college. I mean, my mom
and your family, amazing.
Yeah. So, like, there's nobody in my family has published work. Like, I don't even know how to go about that. Like, that's so foreign to me. And I think that's like a part that keeps like underprivileged kids out of those fields and richer kids into those fields, along with like the funding to schools and everything, funding for FAFSA and all of that stuff. But I think that's like what keeps underprivileged kids out of those fields is like that they don't know how to even start.
There's more of the ladder to climb. It feels like it seems like with what they're exposed to, like if being the with the college comment, I think on my dad's side of the family, I'm like the first woman to go to college, which is wild.
I was the first woman to ever live alone.
Oh my goodness, right. And so when you grow up with, that's what, like, you're even told that, and you don't have anyone else to kind of, like, as a role model for that definitely makes it tougher.
Or just, like, to ask questions, like, what do I do with this, like, student aid form? Like, we're all in that boat together. Like, none of us knew. Me, my mom, my dad, Bryce, like, nobody knew about it. So, Bryce is my brother. But, that's, like, a huge part of it, I think, is some kids don't have anyone to ask those questions to besides maybe like a guidance counselor,
right? Someone at school, right? But I think there is that
your experience versus if Arian said I want to be a doctor would be so much different.
It would be different.
Like it would be so much different. You would know exactly what he needs to do because you just did it,
right? And
I mean obviously things would be different, but like you guys have so much more knowledge about that, or just going to college in general. Like
that's right,
and knowing how to do like the student aid forms and how to choose a college and what you're looking for in it. Like that was like I was walking around blind when I did it, and I'm sure you were too.
Yeah, definitely. More unsure.
Yeah. So and it was just like, all right, I'm just gonna make this huge decision. I'll choose this school. Like that's what it felt like to me, and take out $30,000 in loans. Like that's what it all feels like. But like your kids, for example, will have like a much better, like clearer view of like what they're supposed to be doing.
More guidance. Yeah. I think there's definitely there's so much privilege I want to acknowledge that I'm so grateful for and so glad that they have, and it may not seem like it may be a big deal to others, like, oh, you can, like, we have the internet and, there are resources at school, and that's all great. And I think also it is different if it's, a resource within your family and within your home that you have access to 24/7 really, then there is that difference. And acknowledging, like, oh my goodness, everyone really has so many different backgrounds that they're coming from, right? Going back to hustle culture, I will say in medical school and or just in medicine, definitely Sheila and I both like encounter this with, like, if you're dying, then okay, then you take a day off, basically. Like if you're really, really sick, like
but like you should be coming into the ER anyway. So
right.
We'll see you.
We'll see you. So I think it sounds like there's definitely movement away from that, but it would even be seen as like a badge of honor, where you go to work sick, or you're going to school or to a rotation, like you're unwell, okay, fine, like you're able to still think and work, you come in. Like that would be the view of it. Like it would be like I think my generation first witnessed other people being burnt out. Our parents, I grew up like right in the middle of the 2008 recession. I think like everybody's parents got divorced during that. Like so many of my friends. And so like
I'm sorry, what was I gonna say?
Yeah.
Oh, that, like, we witnessed other people being burnt out because of that. We witnessed, like, your generation, like, our older cousins doing that same stuff. Like, a lot of my cousins are millennials. But it's also, I think some of us are burnt out ourselves after living through the recession, and then we get a couple of good years, and then we go to college and then get kicked out of college because of COVID, and then now we're starting adulthood in an even worse recession. Like, I think some of us do feel burnt out. Some of us do feel like, not like hopeless, but like, it's like, I'm not going to be able to buy a house.
There's that.
So it's like, what on earth am I hustling for?
Yeah.
Enough of this. If there's like not really that goal to work towards, I think that's something that like a lot of my generation has lost. Like, I like my apartment now. Maybe I'll get a little bit bigger one, but like, that's all I'm really working towards. I want to travel. Like, I think that's more, my generation cares more about like, do I make enough money to be stable and like do the things that I want to do? Great. Then that's like really all that matters. Like the title doesn't matter. Like if you, or like my dad heard of like some weird nonsense job, he'd be like, that's dumb. Somebody in my generation would be like, do you make good money? Yeah, you make 6 figures? That's awesome. I don't care what it is. Like,
that's definitely a generational difference. Yeah, like, that's awesome.
Like my brother does like, I don't know, it sounds super boring to me, but like it pays his rent and he gets to, he's in Miami right now. Like,
I know we were talking about like the hustle culture in medicine, and it's still so ingrained in our minds. Like she will not take a day off. Like my husband, unless he was like down and out, like with a GI bug kind of situation. But that's definitely what was ingrained in us. Ooh, and then going back to what you were saying way in the beginning about, you know, my kids being able to see mommy as a doctor, which I love that they're seeing that. I would get nurse like in the beginning all the time, and that soon died out because, like you were saying, older generations still have that thinking. There is a lot of sexism and misogyny, I will say, that's like now looked at like with eyes wide open now, which I'm glad, like there's that like, you know, big reaction or recognition of it. But I remember one of my attendings in med school saying, oh, family medicine or psychiatry, those are good for women. Like those specialties are great for women, you know, because you're going to have kids one day. There was a lot of that I was, you know, exposed to.
Like, what if I don't want kids?
Right.
What if like I want to like be a brain surgeon? Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy. It's
that was there. There was a lot of comments like that.
I think like we said, like only time will help that, I think, and like having conversations, but mostly time, like the generations getting further away from like the boomer generation, I think will be most helpful for that, because honestly, that's the only generation that's ever made that comment to me about like you can't be a doctor because you're a girl. Right.
That's more from that time and time, and I think those who are breaking barriers and being in these what older generations would say atypical roles, like mommy as a doctor or mommy as a surgeon, or you know, females as a firefighter, like in Cocomelon, one of the moms is a firefighter, and then you have a black female doctor. Like I love it. Like they're I see what they're doing. But it's trying to break barriers and show, you know, that, hey, there are these, you know, anyone could be in any role. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, why we reject traditional career ladders, like I said, I think we just want to be stable, and it doesn't really matter.
That's right.
Like the title. I think, like for myself, I have like, I feel like I have a life's purpose that I want to achieve, but I would say like an equal amount of us just want to be stable and like don't have like a huge passion that has so much behind it. So there's that, and then also there's so many endless career options, like things that you've never heard of. And we live in a time of like the internet, and like you can go on Google and see a billion options for jobs. Whereas like maybe not your generation, but maybe Gen X was pushed to doctor, teacher, lawyer. That's it.
Definitely in millennial generation.
That too.
Because that meant stability to have like
now there's like
career like
all
that.
of the tech industries. There's all of that. There's like, you know, the gender stereotypes now. Women can be doctors, and like, I mean, they could previous to now, but like now
Right,
it's more
but
and more women hold
normalized.
like higher degrees than men now.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's like one of the reasons why we reject traditional career ladders, because there's so many things to offer. You can be an influencer, like that's like one of the things that have you ever heard like little kids talking about that?
Yes,
that's what they want to be when they grow up.
the kids
That's like such a new thing.
It is.
That's like my generation. We like wanted to be ballerinas.
Oh wow! So
or like an astronaut or something like that, or like I guess the equivalent would be like a pop star. But now it's like influencers.
That's right, a YouTuber.
Yeah,
yes.
That's so funny to me.
Wow, that's just in this next in Gen Alpha or this.
Even
next
like
difference.
my younger cousin was like, I don't really want to go to college. I want to be a Twitch streamer. I was like, maybe we go to college.
Just in case. A little bit. Back up. That's
like, that sounds great, but maybe we have like a backup plan.
That's so true.
Yeah, that's like really funny to me. There's just so many options. Like there's the doctor, teacher, lawyer, whatever, nurse. That's not being pushed on us. You guys have like 6 choices. That's it.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like.
Yeah, and I think it comes from my parents being from the boomer generation, wanting to ensure that their kids get.
These are jobs that get paychecks.
Right. Yeah. That means you'll be stable, secure, successful, taken care of. I think that's where it came from. But yeah, I did notice that. And I think with us having that like more pushed on, like definitely in the Indian culture, it's huge. Like to be a doctor, it was pushed on heavily, especially growing up for me and a lot of other my Indian friends. And I also, there seems to be more of this blurriness with work and your career being tied to your identity versus generations after.
Yeah, so like I was talking about my brother earlier, like he's someone that he didn't do well in school. Like school is just so not his thing. And even when he was a senior in high school, the guidance counselors were like, well, you should just go to community college. And like the truth is that like college is not for everyone. After I just said that about my cousin.
Right.
My cousin is nothing like Bryce. Bryce is just like, he was never going to be a kid that goes to college. He like hated school. It just like wasn't his thing. And now he has a job that he's good at and pays the bills, and like he's not obsessed with it. It's not like his dream, but like I don't think his dream is working. Like your dream doesn't need to be work. I think that's like something to remember. Like what if I don't dream of labor? And I don't think that's crazy to say. I think that like we need to dream of traveling, and we need to dream of like meeting new people and like making a difference and that kind of thing, rather than dreaming of work is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, that's funny because even with you saying that, my brain's like, wait a minute, that goes like against how I was programmed.
But also like again, it depends on the job. Like you dreamt of helping people, and that's what you get to do. So like that's a different thing. But like somebody that works in like finance or like not a helping profession, helping professions I feel are different, and that's like a lot of the people that are in them felt that was their life purpose, and if they don't, then I don't think they stay for long because it's very hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And there are those who are in it for different, for the money or like for the for the title. And though I think that's going to be very noticed over time.
Yeah, it will not. You will not be happy in the end.
Yeah, but that definitely was something programmed in. I think in a lot of millennials' upbringing, that your career is good. Like career is definitely like made like to be a huge priority and a big deal. And I think in the end, I like to think of Ikigai, if you've heard of that concept, where it's like this funky multiple Venn diagram, but there's this sweet spot in the middle where ideally your job would be one that doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's the goal. Like it's something that you happen to be passionate about, that happens to be paying you well and giving you stability and giving back to the world and fulfilling. If I have it right, I have to look it up and verify. But there's like this sweet spot where it's ideally all of those elements in one for your job.
I think, you have to feel, I don't know if you have to feel fulfilled by your job though, because it's just one part of your life. It's just
This, I think, is there's a
day.
generation difference here that I love, like, you know, like, hearing that.
Like, yeah, and this is, like, coming from someone who does, like, I really want to work in healthcare, and, like, that's, like, what I think my life purpose is, but, like, yeah, if I don't know, like, if you were to think about, like, if you had 24 hours to do anything in the world, you wouldn't go to work, would you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wouldn't be the whole...
You wouldn't be in your office. Like,
right, it's
like,
like, yeah.
so is that truly what you dream of? That's not
Mm.
what you dream of, if that's not what you would do with, like, 24 hours that you can do anything.
I like the way you put that. Mm-hmm.
Like, I think, like, immediately I think of, like, traveling, so I think that is my actual dream, is, like, to travel and, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I love traveling too, but I love the way you're putting it. That's a great way to challenge.
Yeah, it might be something that's so fulfilling to you and makes you so happy and pays the bills, does all of that, but, like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't think it makes you who you are as a person, because at the end of the day, like, you can lose a job like that.
That's
like,
true, and the job will just...
And your person still exists.
Like, right,
so what now?
Person,
yeah,
right.
Like,
yeah, that's
like,
so true.
You don't have that title anymore. Like, say, God forbid, you lost your license tomorrow, you're not a doctor. Like, you're still the person that you were yesterday, though. You still have everything in your brain. Like, the doctor title is just...
Right, it's like, now what? And I think also we're so replaceable too. Like, then, you know, as far as like the company or job, like, they're gonna then look to replace you just like that.
That's another thing with, like, protecting your boundaries and your mental health and everything, is, like, if you are, like, really down bad and you're thinking of, like, oh, I can't leave, you know, my team or whatever at work, they will replace you in 2 days.
Ooh,
like,
yeah,
if something happens to you and, like, or, like, getting to work when it's super snowy. I mean, I know, like, Sheila works in the hospital. It's a different thing. Like, they go in ahead of time and, like, make sure, because somebody has to be there.
Right.
To save dying people. Like, that's a different situation.
Emergency
but, like, for other jobs, like, working at a restaurant or something, and your boss is, like, yelling at you to come in, if you die in a car accident on the way there, they will replace you tomorrow. Like, that's the reality, and your job is never going to be that serious, and, like, never worth your life or, like, your mental health or your safety. Like,
that's right.
Yeah. And I think that's something that, like, my generation really understands. And, like, another thing I wrote down is, like, I think your generation has respect for elders just because they are elders.
We were taught that. Yeah, that was definitely
I was definitely taught that, but I think that our generation thinks that a little bit less, because not necessarily, like, I'm not going to be nice to you.
Just, right, like, like, not like a discriminatory thing.
Yeah,
no.
But, like, my boss and me are both human beings, and we both deserve the exact same amount of respect, because we're both people. It doesn't matter that you're older than me or that you have a bigger job than me. Like, that's just, like, or you have more power in whatever company we work in. We're both just human beings at the end of the day. We're both, like, gonna drive home with our 2 hands and our foot. Like, we're all exactly the same. So it doesn't...
We're all human.
Yeah, like, I think we value or, like, see more equality in, like... So we're willing to draw those boundaries of, like, no, I'm not risking my life to drive there. Like,
right.
No.
I think that's such a good thing that you, that's definitely more in Gen Z that I love, as far as boundaries, feeling, and being more straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a very straightforward person.
yeah.
I'm a little bit blunt sometimes, but, like, I mean, I feel that's, like, the easiest way.
Right.
Instead of, like, dancing around a situation and, like, not really saying what you want to say, like, I'd just rather the conversation be over if it's a tough conversation, you know? Mm-hmm. But
yeah, just be straightforward. Right.
Yeah.
We brought up a lot of different really good points that we can, you know, we've shed more light on and being more aware of, as far as the generation, that, you know, when we grew up and our upbringing, comments we may have heard growing up that maybe we're still carrying.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's about finances or, you know, get a career so you have stability, boundaries, and self-worth, and hustling. Yes, there's pros and cons to that with the hustle culture. However, that has definitely led to more burnout, I think, and anxiety. And are those things serving us?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Well, Ashlyn, thanks for joining
Thanks for having
me on the show.
This was fun.
This was so fun. We could talk all day. I wish we had more chances to talk all day. Oh, and then I wanted to bring up too, because I was asking you, because we're talking about the differences between millennials and Gen Z. I was like, oh, I wonder if you ever have seen an audio cassette before or a VHS. Yes. And you have. I wasn't sure, because for us growing up as millennials, it's like we would record songs. Like, have you ever done that or heard of that? Like on the radio with having, so, okay.
Oh,
this is
like you put a tape in and then like record while it's playing on the radio?
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I've never done it.
Okay.
Cassette tapes? Yeah, I don't, like that was like, I was really, really on the tail end of like cassette tapes, but I know our like home videos are on VHS. I kind of remember it, but like I don't remember how it was filmed. Or like anything like that. And it was definitely only for like 4 or 5 years, and then it was like moved on to CDs and everything else.
Yeah.
I was like right on the tail end of that.
Right. That could be a whole nother segment too, on like the differences. But yeah, I would remember waiting for the song to come on, to hit record, to have it on an audio cassette to listen to. And
so cute. I had an MP3 player when I was little. I was blasting the Jonas Brothers on that baby. When I was like 7, maybe.
Oh my goodness.
It was like a little like pill-shaped pink MP3 player.
Oh my goodness.
And then the iPod Touch.
Oh, the iPod Touch.
I don't think they make those anymore. I really think they should.
I really liked my iPod Touch, but that was, I think, like after college.
2009.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think I got my first one when I like turned 9.
Oh my goodness, I was an
but
undergrad.
I like that idea because it's like smaller than an iPad, and like you can't actually like call and text people. Like for younger, like middle school age kids, I feel like that's a good.
That's a good option that I don't think exists anymore.
No,
I loved it though for that reason too, because then even now like there could be that separation. You don't have like that phone access, but. I had my iPod Nano in undergrad.
Yeah, I remember those. I never had one. I think my mom did though.
And in undergrad, like freshman year, 06, oh my goodness. 6. I was a freshman in college.
I was 5.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy. Like now I don't see us as that far apart. Like,
no, I feel like you're my sister.
Friends or,
like friend.
Or,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
I see you as like one of my older cousins, like the way that I see them. Like,
oh. I love it.
So, like, the idea that I was 5
when
you were in college.
I was 18. That's so crazy, right?
I don't, like, think about, like, our age gap very much because it doesn't feel like it, but...
No, I know.
Like,
well, I'm touched by that. I mean, forever young.
You're very young-hearted, yeah.
Aw, thanks. I think that's one of the keys to life, to be young at heart and embrace your inner child.
Silly.
Be silly, be goofy.
That's why I love my job right now. I'm like, trying to soak it in, like, being silly and, like, not having a serious job. Like, nothing is serious.
Yeah.
And if it is, we're calling mom.
It's mom's job.
Yeah,
okay.
That's serious, then they're getting a phone call. So I love it. Yeah. No, yeah, it definitely, like, keeps you young. To, like, stay silly and, like, lighthearted and, like,
yeah, that's something I think that's so great to unlearn, because I think we can be a little too serious and caught up in that.
Yeah, and like rigid, especially. Rigid. I totally was. Like, I was one of the most type A people ever. I think that having this job, not only with your kids, but like all the kids I watched before that, made me like slow down a lot. Like, we've talked about this before, like, a kid will be like trying to get tape off of something and taking forever.
Right. Yeah.
And you want to be like, just let me do it.
Right.
But then like take a step back. Well, I'm here with you for like 12 hours with some of the kids I was with. I'm like, we have 12 hours for you to get that tape off. Go ahead. Take your time.
Yeah, and that's
so
how they learn.
Step back. Yeah. Like, what am I rushing for? You know, like that kind of thing.
I think
you step back and like let yourself lose control. Because like also like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen if I let Amaya carry her plate to the table? I'll have to remake one chicken nugget. Like, it'll be done in 45 seconds. Like, it's, it's definitely, like, helped me not be, like, a control freak a little bit.
I think it does stem, like, we all have that, I think, you know, and it depends on our mood and patience at the time.
Yeah, we all, like, it's, like, the American culture to, like, hurry up and get things done, I think. Yeah, so, like, when you're like, let me just put your jacket on for you. And then Arian's teacher was like, he needs to learn to put on his coat. I was like, that's my bad.
Even me too.
That's totally my bad because we're always running late. I'm like, hurry, put on your coat, and I just do it for him.
Or
all of us.
Yeah, right.
That's just like the routine that we were doing. I was like, oh, we have to teach him to put on his coat now. Yeah,
right. There's all these learning opportunities, but we are
that you like run over them and bulldoze them over because you're just like on to the next thing, and like the whole time you're a kid, you're like dying to grow up. And like the 9 and 10-year-old I watched, they were like, I can't wait to be grown up. I can't wait to have my own house and my car. I'm like, stop it.
Wait, hold on.
You don't. You don't want to do that.
Right. I remember hearing that all the time as a kid. Yeah, and then I would be feeling annoyed though by it because
you don't get it until you're
because you don't get it until
having no responsibilities. Like,
right. And like the beauty and like freedom.
The beauty of like summer break. 3 months to just have nothing.
Right, where you have all that time.
Yeah. You're like dying to grow up the whole time you're a kid, and then when you're an adult, you're like dying to go back.
And it's like the grass is greener on the other side kind of perspective. Yeah. I know, we could keep talking. But I think
keep talking in the car.
Yeah, but then I guess to end on that, that's a good perspective, or a reminder of are we really in a, like, is there really the necessity for this rush?
Is this actually a rush in emergency? Like,
yes.
Something that I constantly tell myself is like, this is not an emergency. Like, I'll be wiping down the table and I'm like going so fast. Okay, chill out. This is not an emergency.
Right.
This is not like a critical situation.
Right.
Like, we're just cleaning the apartment.
Chill
out.
Yeah.
So I think that's like something good to like repeat to yourself. Like, are we in an emergency or are you just overwhelmed?
What else?
Or like stressed.
Yeah, where is that coming from?
Yeah.
Right, to take a step back, slow down, because I think a lot of the time and that's what anxiety will do. It'll, it's like the fire alarm in your brain is going off. Yep, exactly. It's overinflated, and it's like there's no fire. But it's as if there's like a fire alarm constantly going off in your mind.
I still have to practice it like every day. Like, we're running late to preschool. What's going to happen? They're not going to kick you out.
Right, if you're late.
Yeah, we're like 4 minutes late for preschool. Darn, but okay. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not an emergency. It's not like this critical thing that's happened. Like, we're 4 minutes late. It's fine.
Right. Like, yeah. I think the whole, like, this is something my coach would say, like, the two hardest things could be holding on to something and then letting go. I think especially with letting go, there could be, like, it could be a process there.
Yeah, and I think, like, obviously, like, we have a plan in our head for the day. We'll get to preschool by 9 is the plan.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think a lot of people, like, if there's a change in plans, you're uncomfortable. It's like just a human thing. Something isn't going the way that you thought it would be. That's just, most people have, like, at least an internal reaction in their brain to that.
For sure.
If not, like, being externally stressed about it. But,
for sure. I think that may be inflated.
It almost never is an emergency.
Right.
We, like, in our lifetimes have very few actual emergencies. I can't really think of any actual emergencies I've had.
I definitely.
Funny to think I'm so stressed a lot, but I never have emergencies.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Is that amount of stress like proportionate to what's really going on, or to that situation that's causing that stress? Is always a good question to ask.
It almost never is.
Right.
Like, when you're in the moment, it's almost never that serious. But
it's good then to take a step back. Like, okay, what's really going on? What am I really worried about, or overwhelmed, or stressed with?
Take out the feelings wheel.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, I love the feelings wheel. I share it a lot at work. So yeah. Okay. Well, thanks again for coming on. And I have to have you come on again, too, because we can clearly keep talking about so many different things. So thank you so much.
Do a 9-hour episode one of these days.
Yeah. Right. That should be, maybe that'll be enough time.
We'll get to all of it.
Maybe. Thank you so much for coming on. By the way, all of my loves, I just want to put out there that this is content I've created for educational purposes only, and it is not medical advice. If you feel like, especially after listening to this or in general, you're needing medical or mental health treatment, please go seek a professional to get that kind of care. And as always, if you feel like you or someone is in a medical or mental health emergency, please dial 911 or go to your nearest emergency room, whatever's faster, to get the care that you need.